Chandler Jones. This appeared on the Arizona Cardinals Twitter account last hour. This is a shot of J.J. Watt going back and forth with Chandler Jones, or I guess Chandler was sending it to J.J. Watt. That looks like Instagram to me, right, Christopher?
It was
a social media grandmaster?
Instagram story that Chandler and J.J. were having with each other, and Chandler offered to be his chef.
If you come here, I'll be your personal chef. Monday and Wednesdays are free. J.J. sent back some crying emojis, and now I guess Chandler then sent it to J.J. He posted, "What do you want to eat, LOL?" And then J.J. Watt responded, "Beef Wellington." So there's beef Wellington all around.
All around.
Orange whips.
Let's go. Orange whip.
Beef Wellington's all around. And the man who's putting together that defensive line for Beef Wellington's all around is the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals back here in the Rich Eisen Show, Steve Keim. How are you, Steve?
Rich, doing great.
Beef Wellington all around, huh? Beef
Absolutely. You know me, Rich. I wouldn't turn it down.
Oh, okay. I feel like is this an annual tradition now? Like you make some big, huge springtime maneuver, you come on the show. I guess that's what it is. DeAndre, and it's got to be a Texan too. I guess that's what it's got to be. It's an annual tradition.
Hope we can keep it up.
Well, I don't want to get you charged with tampering, so let's leave it right there. So, my gosh, Steve, when did you first start chit-chatting with J.J. Watt about him coming aboard?
Well, as soon as he was officially released, immediately took a look at the film and had not evaluated him in a number of years for obvious reasons.
Sure.
So,
right.
Threw on the tape, played over 1,000 snaps, all 16 games, and refreshed my memory that he still looks like J.J. Watt, which was exciting. I mean, disruptive, quickness is still there, powerful, has a great repertoire of rush moves. And so not only that, obviously did some investigative work and talked to guys like Hop and other people I knew that used to be with the Texans organization. Obviously, Vance Joseph, our defensive coordinator, coached JJ at one time in Houston. So had some intimate knowledge, and the fact that, I had that information along with the tape that I saw, gave me the opportunity to reach out to his representative, R.J. Gosner, who I've known for years, and let him know our level of interest.
And your level of interest was communicated in a contract, dollars and cents, and what have you. How long so that happened almost immediately in terms of viewing the game film? How long has there been an offer on the table from Arizona to him that he said yes to, Steve?
Well, I mean, it was, the first offer was, I think, after a few days. And again, really, when you look at JJ's history, I mean, the guy's never been recruited, walk-on in Central Michigan. And the path that he's taken, I think it was probably fairly exciting for him to have a number of teams recruit him. I certainly pulled out all the stops, guys like our friend Frank Caliendo and Hop, and even your new jingle, Blake Shelton.
Okay. How did Caliendo help? In this process?
He probably impersonated John Gruden and said that Steve Keim had interest and made some sort of funny deal. I don't know what he did, but he was my son's flag football coach, and a terrible one at that. But he lives right around the corner from our facility and is a good friend, as you know, so he's always willing to help.
16-0, man.
That's what it sounds like. Okay, very good. Okay. Wow. Fantastic. And I guess Blake had something to do with it because we saw his tweet yesterday where he was celebrating, welcoming J.J. Watt. I'll be fielding all inquiries on behalf of you, he mentioned. Steve Keim, our first statement is as follows, quote, unquote, other teams can suck it. That was something, Steve.
I'm always trying to keep it at the G level, G-rated level, but, Blake sort of has a mind of his own.
Hey, he's Blake Shelton, for crying
Correct.
out loud. So how did you employ him? Did he call up you had him call up JJ, or he did that on his own?
He'll make some videos, recruiting videos for me. So he's not a fair weather fan. He is all in.
No kidding. So this is like college. This is kind of like college stuff that you pulled off here, Steve. Right?
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, you have to do what you can, Rich.
So how fired up are you? I mean, what do you think this is going to portend for you, Steve?
Really excited, especially the opportunity to play beside Chandler Jones and I mean, I think when you look at the numbers speak for itself. I mean, since 2012, two guys that have led the NFL in sacks, and to have those guys teamed up side by side, and not only what he brings to the table as a player, but just his infectious personality, the accountability that he brings to our locker room day in and day out. That's to me what is really exciting. His attention to detail for the game. I mean, when you talk to him, I mean, it just oozes out of him. His ability to key and diagnose things, and how he reads offensive football and schematics and stuff like that. So, not only is he going to be a good player for us, he is, to me, going to make the players around him a much better team.
I mean, he's a bona fide star, man, in every possible way, Steve, and
Yes.
And so. To add him to the mix, you're also getting somebody though who's got a window, and you got to love that too, right? He's looking this as a window. You gave him 2 years, and you know that this is it. Like this is for him. This is a new best shot. Certainly after four win season, that's got to be something you enjoy employing on your turf as well, I would imagine.
Absolutely, and I mean that's the flexibility when you have a rookie quarterback under that type of contract. That gives us that flexibility right now until hopefully we have to pay Kyler a lot of money, meaning that he has played exceptionally well, and so far, a guy that won Rookie of the Year and went to the Pro Bowl this year, he's on the right path.
Steve Keim, general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, here on the Rich Eisen Show, day after it becomes official that J.J. Watt is an Arizona Cardinal. And another thing that J.J. brings to the equation is that beautiful patch that's on the front of his jersey, which is one of the most incredible patches in all of sports. It's an honor to wear the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. The question is how many of those players with those patches you're going to have on the field next year, which is my sort of way to ask about Larry Fitzgerald's future, Steve, to just hit the nail right on the head.
That's a great question. I have not talked to Larry. We've given him his space and that sort of thing, and I think that's the level of respect that he's earned. And obviously love to have him back, but that decision is up to Larry, and hopefully we'll hear from him soon.
What is the time frame on that, do you think, Steve?
We have no time frame. I mean, I haven't given Larry a time frame. I know Michael talks to him as well regularly, so we'll just continue to monitor the situation and hopefully makes a decision soon.
Michael being the pilot who picked up J.J. Watt?
How about that? That's
owner?
Another part of the recruiting ploy. Yeah, we'll just send the pilot and the jet to get you.
Take that, Robert Kraft! You fly a plane! Right? Is basically what you're saying?
Exactly.
He really piloted the plane to pick up JJ and his wife. Is that really what happened?
He did, and I think that shocked JJ. He said last night at dinner, I can't believe it. When he showed up, he just said, "I just flew the plane here." I mean, that's Michael's passionate about flying, and so obviously it was a comfortable ride for JJ and his wife.
I would say so. Feel free to roam about the cabin. So when you say Michael he speaks to Larry, does JJ now speak to Larry? I mean, honestly, I know you don't want to put too much pressure on it, but how amazing would that be do you think there's a shot, or, knowing Larry, he could have made his mind up before week 1 last year, and he's already made it up right now. I mean, knowing him.
I think there's always a shot. I mean, the competitor Larry is, and the way we finished this season, from all the good strides that we've made and, increasing with 3 wins and all the positives that were taken away, I think Larry probably sees some great things moving forward, but, certainly up to how he feels in his body at this point in his career.
Steve Keim, general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, here on the Rich Eisen Show. What else is on your what's on your to-do list here now that we've hit the second day of March and you've got J.J. Watt already in the fold? What's on your to-do list, Steve?
Well, a number of things. I mean, just preparing for free agency and, the obstacles with no NFL combine that I know you've always enjoyed. It's tough for us, but we, through the virtual world, we're able to still line up individual meetings with these prospects and talk to them through, Zoom or the virtual world, and that's been helpful as well.
Okay, so that's where, I mean, we'd be in Indianapolis right now, I think.
Yeah, so we still, like this morning, I had a slotted number of players, and I'll have that this afternoon where they come in one by one, and we'll talk to them for about 20 minutes and get some good background information and get to know them as people.
And then figure out your board. Look, I know you probably don't like talking about this publicly, but the passcode for that Zoom is Eisen40 with the E capitalized, right? Correct? Is that the passcode?
And you will remain the screensaver on our draft board, I promise.
Okay. I would be so heartbroken, Steve, if that never never doesn't happen. You know what I mean? I know I just went 19 double negatives right there. But okay, so then there's that. Then there's free agency. But what are your needs? I mean, the way that things ended last year, obviously. The Hail Murray was a high point that you thought you could build off of, and then everything else kind of went the wrong way after that. I mean, what does a general manager of a team under that circumstance do right now? Like, what are your goals? What are you looking for that you can share with me here, Steve?
Well, on the college side, obviously stacking the board, how we see those guys from a talent perspective, and then just the free agency part of it. There's a number of our own players that we'd like to re-sign. Obviously, the market will dictate whether we can have them back or not. But, that'll be a part of it. We'd like to have those guys sort of take precedent. And then any of the areas that we can't fill in with our own players, we'll obviously approach free agency with an aggressive mindset, trying to make this team better. And it's going to be an interesting market because of the down cap, and we'll see how that goes. Could be a number of one-year deals that a number of people have reported about. So that part of it will be interesting, as we get through the first 2 days of that negotiation period prior to the first day of free agency.
When are you going to get that cap number? When are you going to get that? When's your expectation on that?
Yeah, hopefully soon. I mean,
right.
A couple million each way, really does matter. I mean, that can be a starting player or a role player that you're certainly fond of.
Well, what have you been told? What have you and your colleagues been told?
I haven't been told anything. I thought maybe that you would check in with
I got nothing. I got nothing, Steve. I got nothing. No, seriously, I've got zero. I've got that. I don't know. I mean, so do you call up Michael Bidwell when he's not flying new free agents in to say, hey, lobbing a call to 345 Park Avenue? Like, are we waiting for them to take $3 billion a year out of Disney or something for Monday Night Football to figure this thing out? I'm serious. Like, is that really what's at play?
Just really until we get word from the league. I mean, we're operating from the standpoint that the floor is 180, and that's the information we have. So, we have to operate that way right now and project moving forward, and anything above and beyond that is, to me, icing on the cake.
And what have you been told about the draft? Is that going to be all virtual again, where everybody's in their home settings as well? What have you been told on that front about?
I haven't been told on that. To me, I know that we can't take this lightly. It's great to see the numbers are decreasing rapidly. It sounds like from all the reports I've seen. So hopefully we can get to a point where we can go back to normalcy. But until I hear anything further, I'll be prepared to handle it both ways.
Okay. All right, Steve. I appreciate the call. So break this news to me gently. When you had Blake Shelton call J.J. Watt or do something for J.J. Watt, he didn't write a jingle for him either, did he? Or is that just for me?
No, that's just for you, Rich. You are certainly a priority for not only Blake Shelton, but for the Arizona Cardinals.
I appreciate it.
See my recruiting pitch?
Yeah, no, look, I hear you. Thank you very much. There it is.
Rich Eisen.
It's catchy. You got to admit that, man.
That is awesome.
You know what? And then again, I assume, and this goes without saying, but I do want to give you the floor on it, that you are fired up for Bruce Arians, right? That he's gotten that ring that obviously you hope to win together.
I mean, he's like family to me. I mean, we spent 5 great years together, grew up 15 miles apart, so remained very close and love him to death, and so happy for him and his family.
I know it is pretty amazing that this is what's happening. I know that you would hope that you guys could do it together, but it is pretty cool to see him. He's got that ring, man, and he's like, he just wants to keep doing it, and he's just doing it his own way, and it's phenomenal. I just love that guy. He's just the best.
He's so authentic. And then all those guys. Jason Light was my assistant at one time.
Right. My gosh.
Todd Bowles was here.
That's
the whole staff.
That's right. Well, Steve, look, best of luck on getting that for yourself. And J.J. Watt is a huge, I guess, piece of mitochondria, to use his phrase on Twitter the other day, being the powerhouse of the cell. Congrats on getting him, and let's chat down the line before the draft, at least, for sure.
Thanks, Rich.
Right back
Appreciate
at you. Thank you, Steve. Thanks for doing it so quickly. I appreciate that. Steve Keim, everybody. General. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.